Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tidbits of Tecia, where we talk about Tecia Lynn in small doses because, well, she's a lot. I had to do the intro this time too because it'll be in the playlist and it will still be a small dose. This will be a shorter live than our normal lives, but I really wanted to come live for this episode. I missed you guys. Hello, by the way. Hey, Clicker. Hey, Nadie. Hey, MK. Nana Banana. Hey, Tiff. Hey, True Crime Crazy. Let's see. Jennifer. Hey, Sarah. She is the ultimate troll for sure. Hey, Foxy. Little Red Riding Hood. Karen, Destin, good to see you. Hey, Boo Sheet, Amelia, Crystal. I really love that you love it here. Hey, Neat Noodle, Adrian. Let's see. Abellis. I missed you guys. Hey, Amelia. Left Finned, Sherry. 2 Sherrys. Double the Sherry. Let's see, Melissa, good to see you. I was gonna say Miss Melissa and Melissa at the same time, so it was like Melissa. Hey, Shaker Maker, Artemis Prime, Pointer Lover. How are you guys? Hey, Atlas Aurora. Hey, Blue, Mary Jane Doe. Oh, Amelia, always lovely to have you here. Hey, Preschool Granny. Brandywine, Julia, good to see you guys. Okay, so today's episode, we're going to start with something just really quickly about Gannon. This article is new. It's about that mural they were painting. I wanted to show you guys this, and then we're going to jump into the jail files, but we're only going to go for about 45 minutes, and I'm going to try to do more reading than commentary because I really want to keep it more of that. I just really missed you guys. So I was like, you know what? Today I'll do it live. And then after today, we'll get back to the pre-recorded premieres. So it's still a live chat. But, okay, so mural for Gannon Stauch unveiled in downtown Colorado Springs. This article came out yesterday. And it says a mural dedicated to Gannon was unveiled in downtown Colorado Springs Sunday. Gannon was just 11 years old when Letecia took his life in January of 2020. She was found guilty of his murder earlier this year and will spend the rest of her life in prison. Organizers say putting the mural in the heart of Colorado Springs was essential. Gannon will now be immortalized in Colorado Springs. Colors of blue, yellow, and orange make up the mural, all dedicated to honoring Gannon's memory. Just bright and colorful. From everything I've learned about Gannon and from the family and from everybody, he was just a happy kid. So I really wanted the mural to reflect that, says the artist. His name is Paez164. Dozens came to the unveiling to pay tribute and to show their support for the family, including law enforcement who worked closely with them for years. Gannon's mother, Landon, says she was closely involved in the creation of the art. She said, think about all of the great things that you guys have done, and it's just more than paint on a wall. It's love. She said, what you guys did is you really painted a picture of what love represents. In the short 11 years that Gannon had, he also showed you that love, and you invited it, and you captured it, and every drop of paint, sweat, tears, and love, you captured that, she said. If you want to view the mural in person, you can see it on Pikes Peak between Cascade and Tecia. So here, let me just make it bigger. It says love one another, and it says hashtag Gannon Strong. We have the artist's, signature up here in the corner. I love it. It's really sweet and so special that he has this whole wall in downtown Colorado Springs. Shell a long time ago. I remember that stuff it's been a long time though. But when the case was first, I should go back to it and check it out because that channel I watched a lot of in the beginning of the case. Hey, Coco. That is amazing. I love it. Will our Jins be on today? I don't think so because I'm just going to do less commentary and reading of the documents, but we are planning. So we're planning 2 separate lives. Well, for one, we've ordered 2 months of jail calls that are on their way. So that will be happening soon. But we're also planning another discussion on the kites with Curious Jen, since she wasn't there for the last one. And if you missed that, go check it out, because there are things on that live on Jen's channel that have not been released out of this jail file on Tidbits or on Crime Curious or anywhere yet. And they are really interesting regarding, well, we found it by searching Gannon in the documents. But anyways, also, I'm planning on a couple things. I'm looking at these 2 other cases that I want to make videos about. They are solved cases, but I want to start doing that. And then I really need to dig into some current things happening right now as well. Also, I saw there will be a new Idaho 4 Court TV special, I think in like a week or so we can keep our, eyes out for that. It's across from the courthouse. I love it too. I watched it today. It was a long time ago, Little Red Riding Hood, but one of the mods can drop the link. I know Melissa knows the channel that they're talking about. Hey, Mia B. Just got her music melts. Oh, now that I'm back home, I can't wait to do my review of the music melts. And Christine, I really tried to save the whole entire box of music melts for the video, but I mean, I could not sit there and not open it. And Nate does such a good job with the boxes, with the packaging, oh my gosh. But the best part of all is how good they smell. And I needed the smell goods in my house. I know, Mia. Here, let me make sure the link has been dropped for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into these to these jail documents. Because now, if you missed the last episode of Tidbits of Tecia, it's important that I kind of fill you in, because she has this budding feud with a deputy. Okay. She has a budding feud with this deputy, Catherine Draper. Okay. She says, she's complained to her, complained about her. And also Catherine Draper on our last episode wrote her up for some stuff, and she was found not guilty. And I know that just probably empowered and emboldened Letecia, knowing her and how she is, right? So the really interesting part about where we're going to start in this part of the incident reports is the next incident that was written by Deputy Catherine Draper. So I thought that was funny, and it's going to be interesting to watch it play out. Y'all, I have read ahead very little, like skipped around. These incident reports get so interesting. I think, I can't wait to keep reading. Cray Cray Music Melts is Nay's company. She sells wax melts, and they are incredible. The link was dropped. You can look on her website. Hey, Pinche Becky. Okay. Megan, good to see you. You're not too late, because we're just getting into the documents. Hey, Tony. Hey, Cutie Pie. Okay. So I won't be able to see the chat, just so you guys know, as we read along. This incident was, like I said, authored from Catherine Draper, and it took place on September the 7th. So at approximately 3 p.m., while walking a 15-minute ward check, inmate Letecia Stauch was standing at her cell door saying she should have got someone's autograph. Inmate Stauch then asked me if I see him. I asked who, and she responded with the guy who was just in the ward. Knowing that the only male in the ward was Deputy White, I just shook my head and told her to stop. Inmate Stauch then asked, "Stop what?" That there was a celebrity in the ward. I again told Inmate Stauch to stop, and I walked away from her. Inmate Stauch then tells me she wishes she could choke me. Over the next couple 15-minute ward checks I walked, Inmate Stauch would then call me a monster as I walked by. This could possibly be from when I caught Inmate Stauch with medication in her cell last week and charged her with it. On that day, she was telling me I was pure evil. She told Catherine Draper out she wishes she could choke her, and now she's a monster. It appears as if this is all behavioral. When she talks with other inmates in the ward, she does not act like this. When I walked by her cell this afternoon, she had her hair tied in knots on her head, and her jumpsuit pants were tied around her waist as if it were a skirt. Another time, she would be standing in her cell in her undergarments with a rolled up piece of paper, swinging it as if playing baseball. Then she looks at me, telling me she is manic. I told inmate Stauch to stop again and walked away. Inmate Stauch then yells at me, telling me I am an uneducated monster, and she was smarter, more educated than I was. I just continued to walk away. This is informational. Hey, LNS. Crystal, I know. What the hell? Projecting much? Okay, let's keep going. I'm not going to do, like I said, I don't want to do too much of the commentary. I want you guys just to hear the information. There's so much here that if I could stop and talk, I have many thoughts along the way, but I would keep us here forever. Now, this next incident is the narrative is blank refuses to get off exercise equipment. That is not about Letecia. So let me just see here, because sometimes she will be woven into someone else's report in one way or another. Here's where Letecia comes in. Inmate Stauch, Letecia, blank and blank were all yelling from their cells to inmate blank. Due to their negative behavior, these inmates lose their hour out today. So that was it. Oh, they did charge another inmate with disobeying a lawful order, but not Letecia. Okay. I think this is just the follow-up to that. Yeah, so we'll just go right on through. Narrative inmate Stauch made statement. So this took place September 17th, and it's authored by Deputy Dawn Spencer. She says at approximately 12:30, I was in blank when Deputy Mahan asked if I could visit with a 2-deputy med pass. The nurse was already in the ward when I stepped into the ward. The 2-deputy med pass was for Letecia Stauch. She is housed in blank, which is on the blank and all the way to the left. They is a typo. When we opened inmate Stauch's cell door, she was doing a handstand against the wall. The nurse made a statement that she was impressed. Inmate Stauch said that she can walk on her hands. Then she stated, I am trying to get stronger. And that's all at this time. Good God Almighty. Hey, Tinkerbell wannabe. All right, y'all, let's continue. Handstands. We're going to have a lab to discuss all of these, so I'll keep on reading to you. This one took place on Friday, September 18th, and it was authored by Deputy Billy Mahan, and the narrative is Stauch Letecia professional visits. So at approximately 5:15 a.m., I noticed inmate Stauch was scheduled for an 11 o'clock hours professional visit in the ward. According to a memo sent out by the commander, quote, professional remote video visits cannot be scheduled during standard duty hours. Remote video for these wards can be scheduled after the normal unlock times to the rest of the inmates in those wards have been offered. I contacted Sergeant Cynthia Ayad to inform her of the attorney not following protocol for professional visits. I mentioned the memo from Commander Gillespie and that earlier in the week, inmate Stauch had a professional visit. Sergeant Ayad informed me they would look into the matter. One sec, you guys. Okay, sorry. Okay. Inmate Stauch, the sergeant advised me of the following information. Inmate Stauch's professional visit would be part of Inmate Stauch's hour out, and she would need to plan accordingly if she needed to shower, make phone calls, etc. Inmate Stauch needed to inform her professional visitor if they needed more time, they would have to follow the established protocol. I informed Inmate Stauch the above information about 20 minutes before her visitor arrived. Inmate Stauch asked why she was being punished. I informed Inmate Stauch she was not being punished. We had an established protocol that her attorneys were not following. I informed Inmate Stauch when her professional visits were during normal scheduled hour outs, it caused hour outs to continue until midnight or later. Inmate Stauch stated, "That's just stupid. Your sergeants don't know what they're doing. How can I prepare, go through papers, and take notes when I'm all chained up? I can't." I have names of other inmates, male inmates, given to me by the guys upstairs, and they aren't all chained up. I have to call my daughter. That's more important to me. So at approximately 11, her attorney arrived for the visit. Inmate Stauch asked to talk to her attorney for a minute to inform her of the situation. I said yes. Inmate Stauch went to the visiting booth, picked up the receiver, and stated loudly enough for me to hear, "The jail isn't going to let me have an hour if I have a professional visit. It's just stupid." Inmate Stauch was talking so loudly I could hear parts of her conversation with her attorney. Inmate Stauch stated, "How can I prepare, go through papers, and take notes when I'm all chained up? I can't. It's stupid." Inmate Stauch hung up the phone, walked to her cell, talking about how stupid all of this is. Hey, Tony. Hey, Kaylin. Hey, Lucky Shot. Jewelry Nurse. Good to see you guys. If you just came in, we're doing like a Tidbits Live. So we're just reading through the files for a little bit. I just missed you guys, and I wanted to come live instead of the pre-record. But I will get back to them being pre-recorded premieres tomorrow. Okay. Now, this one is not regarding, it's not about Letecia, it's about someone else. She's just mentioned in it as talking to the person who was written up. So we're going to skip that one. So there's not going to be a report in here that it doesn't reference Letecia. Every report in here references her at least once, right? Most of them are hers, but some of them are other people's, and it just references her, and so they threw that in here as well. Now we have Inmate Stauch refusing to eat. On Wednesday, September 23rd, actually, let me just tell you, Holly Meyer, Deputy Holly Meyer, is the author, and it took place on September 23rd. So she says, while conducting meal pass at approximately 6 p.m., I took inmate Letecia Stauch her meal. Inmate Stauch said she did not want it. I asked her if she wanted to just look at it and see. She said, "No, take it out, please." I asked if she was sure, and she said, "I'm not eating anymore." Later in my shift, inmate Stauch asked, "They won't move me to medical, will they?" I told her, "If it becomes a serious issue, you might." She replied, "Okay, I don't want to move there." I asked her why she decided not to eat, and she said, "I just don't want to." During med pass at approximately 7:40 p.m., Stauch told Deputy Malinsky that she was, quote, "not eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner." It was passed on to me that inmate Stauch refused her lunch, and I am documenting this for the future. If she skips a third meal, she will need to go on a food roster. A food roster. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Inmate Stauch food roster. On September 24th, Deputy Billy Mahan said at approximately 5:10, I was briefed by the coming shift that if inmate Stauch did not eat breakfast, then we would need to start a food roster. Inmate Stauch has missed 3 consecutive meals. The mental health clinician and the sergeant were advised by phone. So they took note of the days that she ate, and she ate on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So she's clear to come off the roster. Here she is refusing yet another Professional visit on September 29th. Holly Mayer again is our author, and she says inmate Letecia Stauch refused her professional visit scheduled at 8:30 p.m. When I asked her why she was refusing, she stated she did not want to deal with being fully restrained and hurt again. I knew of the incident she was speaking and had informed Sergeant Bonk of the issue the day it happened. I told Stauch the deputy she was worried about would not be escorting her, and she still refused her visit. Inmate Stauch also stated that she is upset because she still has to be fully restrained when there are other inmates that act out of line constantly and are free to walk around. So she is also refusing to be fully restrained because she feels she's not being treated fairly. I have nothing further at this time. Well, Letecia, you wouldn't have to be like on this major lockdown, completely restrained at any time you go somewhere with two deputies if you didn't raise so much hell. I mean, come on. Yeah, she never ate according to the jail calls, and that was a damn lie. Here we have inmate Stauch odd behavior in medical. At approximately 11:30, inmate Stauch was transferred to blank. I was informed that Stauch was not eating and was flushing her food down the toilet, therefore she would be housed in medical. She was placed on a food roster. Okay, so interesting. When she gets on this food roster, she had to go to medical. When Stauch first arrived in medical, she asked why she was being housed in medical. I told her that it was because she was not eating, and she stated, "It's against my religion. I need to fast like it says in the Bible." From her arrival to approximately 4 p.m., Stauch was standing at the cell door or appeared to be sleeping. At approximately 4:15, she started acting strange while in her cell. She initially started performing handstands in her cell. She then started jumping up against the wall and punching and kicking the air like she was fighting. I started to walk a check when Stauch asked to speak with me. She said that she would accept a dinner tray so she, quote, could get this over with and start my fast, unquote. Inmate Stauch refused lunch and initially refused dinner. I called Sergeant Bonk and asked if he could stand by as I handed inmate Stauch her dinner tray. Before I gave her the dinner tray, I turned off the water to her cell per inmate class. Inmate class wanted the water to her cell turned off so she could not flush the dinner down the toilet. I handed Stauch her tray and closed the door. I then briefed Sergeant Bonk on the odd behavior she was portraying. He told me to write an informational report. He stated he would pull the video footage starting at the approximate time the odd behavior started. After Sergeant Bonk left medical, I continued to keep a close eye and ear on what inmate Stauch was saying and doing while in her cell. She started eating her food and then placed a strip of toilet paper on the floor and started another typo jumping over it. So she puts a strip of toilet paper on the floor and starts jumping over it. She also made the following occasional spontaneous statements. This place is a concentration camp. Edward done this. I need to find my brother because this is a concentration camp. Where is my brother? I need to go to G1 because this ward is the concentration camp. I chopped his foot off. Tell me where my brother is at. Do you think I'm going to plead guilty? I need to talk to Edward. Inmate Stauch continued to act strange while making these statements. Stauch would dance around her cell and throw tampons at the wall and put them in her hair. I made sure to brief the oncoming shift of the odd behavior and told them to document if the behavior continued. So this is perfect timing, right? Look at the date, October 2nd. This is when, she really starts ramping up this acting insane. It's funny because in jail, she was doing all this bizarre stuff, but on the prison calls, I don't know. I think she seems to be normal, but hey, the Gemini. Donna Brown, good to see you guys. So this place is a concentration camp. Where is my brother? I chopped his foot up. Tell me where my brother is. Please tell me the tampons were not used. Well, I don't know. I would imagine not, but they would probably say so. Okay, so I'm going to do something really quick. We're going to switch back to this and just watch the video. It's like a minute long, a minute and a half. I don't know. It's very short just because I have to take care of something here at the house for 2 seconds.
Through rain, wind, hail, Cornerstone roofs are made to last. Cornerstone is your most trusted roofing company in Southern Colorado. Call us today for your free roofing inspection. Cornerstone Roofing, where integrity is the cornerstone of our business.
We are learning new details. A mural dedicated to Gannon Stauch was unveiled in downtown Colorado Springs today. Gannon was just 11 years old when he was killed by his stepmother in January of 2020. Letecia Stauch was found guilty of his death earlier this year and will spend the rest of her life in prison. Organizers say putting the mural now from Pikes Peak Avenue in Cat.
Okay, I am done. If you missed the beginning, I actually read this article and it's word for word what's in the video. So I won't make you sit through it again or read through it again, but I will show you again the mural in case you didn't get to see it.
Yeah, Grace, and the artist behind the mural to the mural for what he brought to the
11-year-old Gannon Stauch will now be immortalized in that 11-year-old Gannon.
There we go. So it says, love one another, Gannon strong. And it was, we had been talking about the progress of this mural, but it has been completed. Okay. So now we can jump back into this. And I do apologize, you guys, for that. But, it's a live show and stuff happens. It comes up. The coloring is definitely unique, Bella. I think it's meant to be like that pop art style. You know what I mean? So not necessarily realistic. I know, Kaylin. Absolutely. Reminds me of that song. Okay, so let's go on. We're going to talk about October 2nd again, and the author is Deputy Kennedy. And the narrative is Stauch moved to SD1. So at approximately 23:45, I walked into the medical ward and witnessed water coming out from under cell where inmate Stauch was housed. The decision was made to move Stauch to SD1. I guess it's not redacted at the top, but it is here. Deputy B, Aptekar EID, opened the cell and had Stauch walk backwards out of the wet cell. Stauch is identified as a full restraint, assaultive, and disruptive inmate. I held Stauch's right arm while leg restraints were put on. She was turned around and I held her left arm while the waist and wrist restraints were put on. She complied with all commands and provided no resistance. I held inmate Stauch's left arm during transport. When leaving the medical ward, she yelled at the medical team, "I have no issues with the deputies. This is all your fault." Inmate Stauch said nothing else during the remaining time of the escort. In the blank, restraints were removed with no resistance, and inmate Stauch complied with all commands. She looked at Deputy Brisson, who was holding her right arm, and stated, "I have no issue with you." Okay. This person just says they observed her and that she didn't have any issues. She would go between sitting and standing, that kind of thing. All right, now we're on October 3rd, and she's apparently being sent to special detentions. So our author is Deputy Aptekar, and he says at approximately 10:26, Letecia yelled out, "What do I got to do to get to SD? Beat on the door?" Miss Stauch is assigned to blank in medical for monitoring due to her missing 3 meals in a row. She also has the following alerts: competency raised, full restraints assaultive disrupted, full restraints escape, mental health alert, no law enforcement contact, and segregated from all. Miss Stauch began hitting the door. She also made statements while laughing, asking when would we bust her head open. From the camera view, I could see her facing the door and kicking it with the bottom of her foot. sandal on. Miss Stout continued to do this for a couple of minutes. She then began throwing water under the door. I observed her on camera walk to the sink, fill up her cup, then bend over and throw it under the door. I turned the water off to the cell. The toilet would no longer flush, but water continued to be available from the sink. I notified the sergeant and he attempted to turn off the water, but it was still available from the sink. The water Miss Stout was throwing began to cover half the hallway despite towels and blankets being placed up against the bottom of her door. Deputy Ray, who was dropping off another inmate, attempted to de-escalate Stout by talking to her. He asked, "Why are you flooding your cell?" She said, "I lost it." She also made statements about the freedom of religion and said, "I can fast if I want." Deputy Ray agreed with her and said, "Yes, but when you miss 3 meals in a row, we have to monitor your health by taking your vitals and weighing you. It is a protocol to keep you safe." She continued to throw water under her door. Deputy Kennedy also checked the pipes to see if there was a way to stop the water from getting to the sink in Miss Stauch's cell. Sergeant Henning recommended we take Miss Stauch to blank. I let him know that is what she had previously expressed her desire to go to. I asked Stauch if she wanted to go to special detentions, and she said she did. While preparations were being made to take her there, she began kicking the door. She's been known to slip out of handcuffs. There are special attachments to make the handcuffs smaller. I attached those to the handcuffs in preparation for transport. The water in the blank was turned off. The water surrounding her cell and medical and all items used to soak the water up were removed. At approximately 11:45 p.m., I directed Stauch to the back of the cell to face the back wall. She complied. There was a puddle of water in her cell. I directed her to step back to me by following the sound of my voice. I was standing just outside the threshold of her door. I applied full restraints, double locking the handcuffs and the leg restraints. Miss Stauch said the handcuffs were on her bone. I slipped them down a small portion to keep them off her bone as much as possible and still be effective. She was compliant and no injuries on her were apparent. Straight up flooding the cell to be taken out of medical. I mean, disgusting. Because this is how she is. If she don't get her way, she will do whatever she has to do. Lie, cheat, steal, manipulate, hell, even kill. You know what I mean? It's damn disgusting. It is one big game to her. All right, y'all. I ain't going to talk too much in between. I'm trying to keep my promises, but Now, this is the other officer. I think this is the one who walked by and tried to, calm her down. Let's see. No, that's Officer Ray. So this is the same incident, but it's the sergeant. Okay. So he says inmate Stauch was transported to blank due to her kicking the floor and flooding. She stated she didn't want to sleep on a mattress on the floor. At approximately 3:30 a.m., I spoke with Stauch, and she stated she did not want to return to her cell in medical. I asked what would happen if I returned her to medical. She stated she would, quote, keep those folks awake all night, unquote. Again, she stated her desire to be moved to another cell that would allow her to get off the floor. She stated she would stay in SD for 6 months if necessary. At approximately 5:05, I asked if she wanted to return to her cell so she could eat breakfast. She shook her head no. I asked a second time, and she again indicated no with a nod. Okay. Inmate escort from blank. This is also October 3rd. This person assisted with escorting Letecia. And they put the restraints on. I think it's just going to be mainly what we've heard already. I placed the step 3 black box and belly chain on Stauch, then began escorting Stauch out of the blank and back to blank without incident. When we arrived in blank, Stauch mumbled inaudible sounds towards staff before entering blank. Step 3 restraints were removed, and all deputies exited the cell. Now, on October 6th, again, she refuses another professional visit. So she has a visit this was authored by Deputy James Ragsdale, but she had a professional call at 1300, so 1 p.m. I informed Stauch and she stated, "Oh, I'm not going to any professional visits or calls." I asked if she was sure and she stated, "Yeah, I'm not going." She takes this so seriously. Now, this one's going to be quite interesting. I'm going to walk outside. Let me check on you guys for a minute. Why are they treating her like some celebrity? Hey, Ken. Hey, Angie. The next one is about her attempts to manipulate housing and mental health. Hold on. Bentley's phone is on outside when I walked out here. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. Unnecessary work for plumbers, for officers, the whole jail. I know. Oh, Bella, that's sweet. Well, I love hanging out with you guys. I really do. And I love hanging out with the co-hosts too. But sometimes we got to do our own thing, you know? Not that. I mean, if I would, honestly, I told them I was going to do this and I thought about asking them to come, but I thought where I'm trying not to give a lot of commentary that it would be sort of pointless. You know what I mean? Because I don't want them just sitting up here silent. Plus, you know, they got their own things going on as well. But, well, we're about to hear Sarah, what she tried to do. Oh, true crime crazy. That's sweet. Appreciate that. Just trying to keep her alive until trial. Absolutely. Oh, there you are, Curious Jen. Thank you, Crystal. So, if she is in Disneyland, what character is she? That monkey off of Aladdin? No, I don't know. Boo or whatever. Okay. Stauch attempts to manipulate housing and mental health. This took place on Saturday, October the 10th. It was authored by Deputy Lambert. So at approximately 1100 hours, Stauch asked about being moved back to blank. Stauch said she had been cleared by medical. I asked the charge nurse to speak with Stauch, and Stauch was cleared by medical but would continue to be housed in medical for the time being. Stauch became visibly upset and started rocking her body at the door, making light contact with her head against the cell door window. I asked Stauch if she needed anything. She said she wanted to talk to mental health. At approximately 11:30, mental health staff members spoke with Stauch. I did not hear exactly what was said, but Stauch replied, "If something happens, it's on you," leading me to believe this conversation did not end in Stauch's favor. Blank told me Stauch said, "I'm not stupid enough to hurt myself." She appeared to go back to sleep following this conversation. So then, at approximately 3 p.m., I asked Stauch if she would like her hour out today. She said she just wanted to make a phone call. Stauch is on a 2-deputy precaution, meaning there has to be 2 deputies present when she's out of her cell. Because of this, I told her she would have to take her hour out in blank if she wanted to use the phone. Stauch began to cry and said, "I can't go up there. It's too depressing because I know I have to come back down here after my hour. I'm going to lose my mind in this cell. They put handcuffs on me too tight and give me bruises." I told Stauch, "I'm just giving you your options, ma'am. If you want time out of your cell and make a phone call, you have to do it in blank." So then at 3:30, she asked what time she would come out of her cell. I told Stauch the earliest she would be able to come is 2100 hours, so 9 p.m. per the deputy. Stauch said, "I just want to make a last phone call to my daughter." I asked Stauch what she meant by that. "I just want to make a last phone call to my daughter." asked her what she meant by that. And she said, "This is my last night of being a human. Every night a vampire comes into my cell and takes my liver and organs, and I have to fight it to get them back. I'm not going to fight anymore. I'm going to let the vampire take my organs and turn me into a vampire." I asked Stauch if she was thinking of hurting herself. She said, "No, I'm not going to do anything like that." So at 4:15, Stauch began talking to herself and making barking sounds. Stauch also spoke about weapons of mass destruction, asked God to release her, and asked different staff members if they were high. Stauch's conversations with herself were fragmented and nonsensical. Based on Stauch's comments earlier about losing her mind if it doesn't get transferred back to blank, and on the outcome of her conversation with mental health, I believe this is an attempt of her to manipulate mental health and housing. Wow, you guys, that's quite a lot to unpack after that. A vampire comes into my cell every night to take my liver and what was the other one? To take her organs. Hey, Curious Jen, I'm trying to keep this short tonight, so but if you want to, or if I don't think Bendy's here, and I know that she's got some things going on, but if you guys wanted to, like, give any of your thoughts on any of this quick, like at the end for just a couple minutes, let me know. I'm just going to read for like 5 more minutes, and then we could talk for like 10 or 15 minutes if you want. So here, I'm going to put it in the chat. If you want to, you can come up. I wasn't going to do any commentary, but she's in the chat, and this is, I don't know, I feel like I want to have a whole live just discussing all the tidbits anyway. So if we don't, that's fine, because we are planning on doing that in the future. But this is my last night of being a human. Every night a vampire comes into my cell and takes my liver and my organs, and I have to fight it to get them back. I'm not going to fight anymore. I'm going to let the vampire take my organs and turn me into a vampire. Okay. Now, Miss Stauch has blood on her face during a formal welfare check at breakfast. So this was authored by Sergeant Mary Bryant on October 11th, and she says at approximately 4:20 a.m., I was in the medical section assisting the deputy with breakfast. While conducting the formal welfare check-in occupied solely by inmate Letecia Stauch, I saw a significant amount of blood smeared all over her face, but none on her neck, her jumpsuit, her cell, or the mattress. I asked Stauch what happened, and she said nothing. I told her I needed to take a picture and get medical to evaluate her, and she replied, "No, you don't. You don't have permission to do so." I tried to reiterate to her that it was to ensure she was okay and not hurt, and she pulled the blanket over her face and stopped responding. I called responding deputies to medical and informed them of inmate Stauch's noncompliance and the need to be seen by a nurse. With 4 deputies standing by, I reopened the door to have inmate Stauch be evaluated by medical. Inmate Stauch was at the sink washing her face. Stauch said something to the effect of, "The blood on my face must have been from my nosebleed." I told inmate Stauch that was fine, but we still needed to see her face and head and make sure there were no cuts due to the amount of blood. Stauch continued to argue about being evaluated by medical, but eventually complied with orders to let them look at her head and face. She complained of tenderness in her head on the right side and said it was because she sleepwalks. They could not locate any cuts on Letecia. She would not comply with taking a photograph of her face, but one from the top of her head is attached to this report. All right, let's have a look at that, y'all. Looks like she just washed her hair for once. Hey, Curious Jen, is that you in your car? And then somebody else is backstage. Hold on. Let me put up a thing. Hello?
So that's me in the car.
Okay, so let me get this. We'll see who this is. I got the thing up, so. Hello? Hello. It says no audio. Unmute Mike. You want me to unmute you? Hello? Well,
Yeah,
okay.
probably the bomber.
Oh, device is not connected. I think they don't know how to get their. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. If it's somebody who wanted to say something, because you can't get your microphone and stuff hooked up. If you figure it out, let me know, and then I guess I'm gonna remove them. Hold on. Okay, so what you doing, Jen? And oh my God, look, here's the top of her head. It actually does look like she just washed her hair, but what's up with this blood? And ew, where did it come from if she has no cuts all over her?
Yeah, and I doubt she's having nosebleeds.
Well, apparently she does. Here, let me go back just like a little bit. She did this in her sleep too. She made her hands, she said that she hit her hand on the metal bed, and that's what caused this. This is obviously from punching something hard. I mean, they're bright and purple, and hold on, it's not far. What in the hell was she doing in there? This is not the only incident that sounds like this. So when we get further along, I mean, there it is. But she's not violent, you know.
Right.
She's
I don't need 2 deputies.
I know.
I don't need restraints.
I think that she has a plan here, though. I think she's trying to escape, and that's why she's refusing visits. Because if she refuses the visits and she says it's because of, the restraints, then she's trying to get them to let her go around without them. Do other inmates have to have them? They do, right?
Not like her. No, she's on, and that's why. So one of the things that I want to go over with you is, it's just one page out of 2,924, but it's one page, and it's the alerts page, and that will show us the dates that she's on every kind of alert there is. And one of the alerts is suicide watch. One of the alerts is 2 deputies. One of the alerts is no guard contact.
Ooh. Yeah, that will be
So
very
I want to go over
interesting.
that page with you. And I also want to go over the visitor list with you. And also there's so many kites that I want to talk to you guys about. I'm so sorry that, the Volturi kept me from joining you on the kite discussion, but the Volturi has spoken, and they said we can do a part 2. So.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Valtori. That's okay. No, it's not the same without you, but we made it. But I would have loved to have you there, especially because you know the most about all those kites. You're the one who has read through them multiple times, organized them in order, and all of that. So I can't wait to have that discussion with you.
Oh, yeah. So you know what my latest little project was? Because I've got binders galore, right? And I printed out every single kite, and that's how I know the duplicates. That's how I know, because they were in 4 separate categories, and I went ahead and reordered them by date. But now I'm in the process of adding every single incident report also by date. So I've got one binder that goes by date with incident reports and kites.
Ooh, that will be so interesting to see how they line up, and then to line them up with the calls. We can do that as well,
Right.
That'll be really cool. Let me take a second though, because I missed a bunch, and I am so sorry, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining Nails and Braids by Kim and Donna. Thank you guys. Thank you, MK, for gifting 5 memberships. That's really sweet. All of you guys, it's really sweet. Thank you, Tommy, for the super sticker. And Shauna says, love you and your lives, and I love you. And thank you for being a member for 4 months. Thank you, guys. You rock. Thank you. Well, I mean, you've worked your little butt off with that, but I think that at the end it's going to be worth it, because how cool is it going to be able to flip to whatever day and see everything that was, taking place at that time?
Right. Yeah. That's the thing is there's so much public information available in this case, but does it really make sense until we put it into context? And I'm pretty proud of my writing abilities and skill and talent, but a big portion of it is taking the data that I have access to and putting it into an order that makes it all make sense. That's what I did, even just with the probable cause affidavit. I took all of the information that was in that affidavit and I put it in order, and I did a sort of a dig report.
Right.
But when you look at the whole of the information, and it's a lot, and then you actually put it in order by date, we have a timeline of the crime, we have a timeline of the road trip to South Carolina, we have a timeline post arrest of the investigation and everything that detectives were doing. We have a timeline of the trial. It's a lot. And so really all I'm truly doing is organizing the information. And I do have a gift for organization, especially when shit gets confusing.
Yes, you do. And I'm telling you, the patience that you have, I know that I could not do that. That's not my specialty. So I don't know. It's why it's so fun to work with you guys, and Jen too, because we all have different, weaknesses and strengths. So
yeah, I wish Jen was here. I love you, Jen.
I know. I love you too, Jen. I'm so excited for her book too. Oh shit, I had like something I wanted to ask you, and it left my mind. Hopefully it comes back. Oh, well, one thing.
Something tells me we're going to talk again, Allie.
Yeah, I'm sure that we will. Dude, I have not skipped. So I haven't read ahead in the incident reports at all, but I have searched a couple keywords and read like that, just a few pages. And oh my gosh, I believe we're just getting to it's going to get intense, I believe. And, some people, of course, you get comments out. I don't know if you do. I've gotten comments that are like, really, you're still talking about this? She's in jail. What's it matter? And I'm like, okay, first of all,
Right.
all of this is literally what happened between her arrest and going to trial, which is important. And I want to know about it. But not only that, think of all the cases that are discussed for years and years after. But I'm not sure that I've ever seen one exactly like this, or a perpetrator like her. I mean, she is just so beyond.
Right. And it is new information. So I had a comment on one of my videos. I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. I had a comment that compared us to Chris Watts groupies, and it was real nasty. Like we're the sick, evil people because we can't let this go. I think she used the word obsessed. You're obsessed like a bunch of Chris Watts groupies. Like, okay, well, A, I'm writing a book, and 3, I'm writing a book. But also, this is new information. The phone calls have never been released before. The kites had never been released before. The incident reports, there was another channel that, kind of half-ass, crossed over them. But, this is new information, and we're not trying to solve the case. The case is solved, and Gannon has had justice. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to change the narrative. But in a case this confusing, whether it was confused by all of her lies or all of her games or the 22 separate agencies that were involved in the investigation, that's not an open and shut anything.
Right. Agreed.
And a lot can be learned. Not only that, look at all the different groups of people that she tried to exploit in her little adventures,
Right.
I just feel like a lot can be learned about society and ourselves, not just about her. She wishes it was about her.
100,000% agree with you. I completely agree. Like you said, even the people that she tried, what she did to mental health, the way that she tried to blame, every other race but white, but she's with all races, you know.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I do want to address this comment. Glory says, ladies, keep doing your thing. All this is out on 2 channels, one very in-depth. So that's actually not true. Some of the things that we've gotten have been gotten by other channels, but some of them have not at all. We like, for instance, a lot of the calls. When I started the tidbits with Tecia, all the incident reports weren't out, the kites weren't out. You know, a lot of it that's just not true. But, you know, some of it is on other channels, and that's okay because it's the first time that I've talked about it and I've seen it, and I still want to talk about that stuff as well. But some of it absolutely is only on our channels because we are the only ones who have got it from the county so far. So,
Right.
hey, stars.
Right. I went ahead and turned off my camera because I was getting close to home.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. People still go over the Menendez brothers 30 years later. Actually, I'm interested in that one still. I would like to talk about that. It interests me a lot.
So I know a guy who was a cellmate with one of the brothers. And
Wow.
Okay, here's the problem though. As much as I would love to talk to him about that, so this guy I'm talking about, his name is James Heydrich. And James Heydrich is currently housed at the Coalinga State Mental Hospital in California. And he's housed with the SVPs. And he will most likely never be released. So this guy got into trouble for behaving inappropriately with young men who were part of his, under his tutelage. He had a mixed martial arts studio, and he behaved inappropriately with his students. And so
I
he
can
was
see
sent to
why you
prison.
wouldn't want to. Yeah.
Right. Oh, and well, no, it gets better. I mean, better, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. So he did his prison sentence, and when he was due to be released from prison, they said, you know what? Your time is up. You've served your prison sentence. However, we're not going to release you back into society. What we're going to do is we're going to commit you civilly under a civil commitment and send you to the state mental institution, and you'll be released.
Oh no, you cut out.
California prison and civil commitment system. And he, you know, his rights have been violated, and he's so angry and upset because how can you lock somebody up because you think they're going to commit crime in the future? And on its face, that's a great argument. However, over about 100 phone calls with this guy, listen, Letecia's got nothing on this guy's manipulation. Nothing.
Wow.
I mean, he is the single most manipulative person I've ever met in my life. And he still calls me at least once, maybe twice a year, long after me telling him that I wanted nothing to do with the story. I wanted nothing to do with him. Listen, he had people on the outside that were contacting me. It got real scary. And he had some fame before he got in trouble. And he was on Ripley's Believe It or Not, and he on, I don't know, one of the talk shows. We're talking late 80s, early 90s. And he was claiming to have kinetic power. He had powers as well, Allie. He had powers. And anyway, he was debunked by James Randi. If anybody in chat knows who James Randi is. I didn't mean to go off on this whole tangent, but
no, that's okay. Interesting. You cut out for like a few seconds, but we still got most of it, at the beginning, but just for a second. But
anyway, he was one of the Menendez brothers, and he wants to tell me about it. But listen, this guy, I just can't.
it's
And
the same
like
as like
Letecia, would I believe anything he says anyway?
right?
Yeah.
It's the same as like messaging with her. Like, you know, you can try and you can get a little bit of information. Melissa, did you answer me in the chat? You can try and get a little bit of information. However, it's never going to be the truth. And then it's going to be so incredibly toxic just dealing with this person. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not worth it. Okay. So while you're up here, I think Melissa has a live at 7. I was waiting on her to answer. Brandy answered me. So I don't want to go over that. And I got some things to do anyways. But while you're here, the next report is about her behavior as well. So do you want to read through it? I'll read it, to you, but. Hello? Can anybody hear me? Can y'all hear me in the chat? She might have to do something for a minute. And if so, I'll go ahead and read it then. Hello. Yes. Okay. Awesome. The chat's 20 seconds behind. So, oh, awesome, Bushi. I love him. Have a good night, babe. Okay. Thank you, guys. Well, I don't know what happened to Curious Jen, but I'll read through the next report and then I'll let you guys go. Let's see. So this is about her behavior as well. It's Catherine Draper. And you know, like I said at the beginning, but if you've been following along with Tidbits, she's got a little beef that's arisen with Letecia. Okay, let me see. Just checking the chat. Okay. So on October 26th at around 7:45 p.m., inmate Stauch was on her hour out and pacing the ward. Inmate Stauch would try and make a phone call and then pace the ward. Inmate Stauch said she got a hold of her daughter, but her daughter was crying and saying something about her car breaking down. Inmate Stauch had got a hold of her daughter just a couple minutes before lockdown. When Stauch was told to lock down at 2,000 hours, Stauch was yelling up to inmate blank that inmate Stauch's daughter was found by E. She didn't use a name, only to the letter E. Inmate Stauch went to lockdown and told me she wanted to apologize ahead of time, but she was going to start to act out. Inmate Stauch then told inmate blank at her cell door that inmate Stauch's daughter is in the witness protection program and that E found her. At approximately 9 p.m., medical was in the ward passing out medications, and she refused all medications. We informed her she needed to come down and sign the slip, but she refused to leave her cell and refused to sign the slip. So now she's telling people Harley's in witness protection, and she's been found by E, whoever that is. Curious Jen, can you hear me? Are you even still up here? I'm on a different screen. No. Oh, you're backstage. Are you there? She fell off again. Okay, I gotta look for something. Just a second. Okay, yes. So Melissa has a live at 7:30. And here's the link to her channel and Curious Jen's channel and Jen's channel. I'll drop them all really quickly. Link, please. Okay, gotcha. Curious Jen ghosted. She was yeeted. She's in witness protection. I apologize, but I am going to start acting out. And then the next one is also, so that was Catherine Draper, like I said. The next one is also Catherine Draper. Oh my God, it's October 26th, about her behavior. Hello?
Hey.
Okay, it's you. Okay, I'll read this one and then we'll chat about these two. So on October 26th, throughout the entire shift, inmate blank made sexually inappropriate comments toward me or about me. She would tell me what she would like to do to me. This is not regarding Stauch. At the bottom, it is. At approximately 7:30, while inmate Stauch was having her time out, inmate blank asked her a favor. Inmate blank said that Stauch needed to ask her people to find Deputy Gordon's Facebook page and to print off Deputy Gordon's profile pictures and any photos of Deputy Gordon's children. Inmate blank asked Stauch to tell her people and have them send them to her so inmate blank could have them. Inmate blank is in the facility currently for stalking Deputy Gordon. Oh my God. I can't believe the shit that's going on in there. Here's toilet talking again.
What was the date on that one, Ellie?
October 26th.
That really makes me wonder. So, right around that time, which October 26th is the day that Aunt Brenda took Harley's car. It's 2020, right? October 26th, 2020.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the day that Aunt Brenda took Harley's car. There were 2 redacted phone calls, personal information. And this particular incident report makes me wonder if that's why it was redacted, was, the Deputy Gordon stuff.
Oh, I bet you that is it. I bet you that's it. She probably mentioned something about that and they don't want to give all the details out, or I don't know. Because look, the one right before that is when you were like falling off. No. It's also October 26th. On that same day, inmate Stauch was pacing the floors, telling other inmates that Harley was in witness protection and that E found her.
Right, and we know who E is. E is Edwin/Edgar. So Edwin is her toilet talking buddy, right? And Edgar is a fake name that she gave to what was her name? Lee Egan from Crime Online. And she told her Edgar is a fake name, but Albert was in a bunch of financial trouble with this guy because he had this excessive gambling debt. And, and then it was the whole thing about the figurines, right?
Yeah.
But E, when she says E, she means Edgar, which is a fake name for Edwin, which is Edwin Figueroa, who's also housed at El Paso County Jail at this time. And, she's something else. So Edwin Figueroa is the new Quincy Brown, except Letecia gave Edwin Harley's phone number.
Oh my God. And then she says, oh, he found it. Oh my God.
Right. So now when Edwin and Edwin's mother are calling Harley because Letecia gave them her number, even though they think they're doing one thing to help Letecia, what they're really doing is falling into Leticia's next Quincy Brown trap.
Yep, absolutely. Oh my God. Nay says, Crime Curious, how in the ham sandwich do you keep all this shit straight? And I agree, because I've been following this case from the beginning and I've heard, a lot along the way, and I cannot keep it straight at all. I can't remember it all. There are things I have to go back and look at, and not her. She's definitely keeping it all.
I'll never be the same. I will never be the same.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. But there's a lot of good that comes from it too, and all the relationships with you and Jen, with all you guys in the chat, like, even though we talk about the most horrific stuff, and it's really, I don't know. Well, today we got to see the mural completed, but regardless, it's dark stuff most of the time. And it's just nice to have like these awesome relationships with you guys. Hey, Christina. Okay, let me read the next one since we have a couple minutes. There's a big jump here. Most of these incidents are just a day or two apart, but we have from October 26th to November 23rd where nothing happens. She must have, do you know if she was currently in another facility at that time?
I'd have to look. It might coincide with the time that she went to CMHIP for her second competency evaluation.
Okay.
Not sanity, but competency.
Right. But it's interesting, yeah, because I know she didn't go a month with no trouble in October, November of 2020. So November 20, well, wait, we just ordered the 2020 jail calls from November.
Yeah, and there are 42 phone calls in the month of November, so she had to be there.
Wow. Okay. That's really interesting. Maybe they're misplaced though, because the document can be a little crazy sometimes. But so this is inmate Stauch odd behavior, and it was authored by Deputy Brandy Kevlums on November 23rd. She says, at approximately 6 a.m., I assumed duties in the blank. While walking a health and welfare check, I noticed Stauch Letecia laying in her bed with her head hanging off the side and her feet up over her head and resting on the light that is fixed to her ceiling and talking like a baby. I asked inmate Stauch if she was doing all right, and she stated, yeah, I am fine. I'm super flexible. Oh my God. I am super flexible and just talking to the Victorian. Inmate Stauch then told me she did not eat the day prior and did not sleep, so she was hallucinating. I told Stauch to let me know if she needed anything and continued walking my check. She says, oh, I didn't eat yesterday and I'm in here hallucinating. And the deputy's like, okay, well, if you need anything, let me know.
Right. I mean, I like how she's self-reporting her delusion.
I
You know,
know.
it doesn't exactly work that way. And I'm sure when she said Victorian, I'm sure that what she actually meant was Volturi. But the guard was just like, okay, duly noted.
Victorian.
Victorian, got
look
it.
here. Yes, because listen, I see it again. So now we have throughout the day, Stauch would talk through her vent to inmate blank. At one point, inmate Stauch said, vegetarians eat veggies. So what do humanitarians eat? People. I am a humanitarian. Oh my God. And I don't want to bite you, but the Victorian told me that I needed to eat. Humanitarians?
The Victorian, the guard's just like, okay, all right. Where's
Oh
my
my
pen?
God. Yeah, getting it
Whatever
a
you
little.
say.
While walking another health and welfare check, Stauch stopped me and asked if I liked the painting on her wall. I told her, oh God, I told her I could not really see it. Inmate Stauch informed me she made the painting with blood. I asked inmate Stauch where the blood came from. She stated, the Victorian brought it to me. The Victorian brings me everything I need. I am a humanitarian and I eat people because I need to have the blood. I asked Stauch to show me her hands and arms to make sure she was not wounding herself. She had no markings on her. She showed me her legs as well and did not have any visible marks. Inmate Stauch again stated, I told you. The Victorian sent the blood to me so I could drink. While inmate Stauch was on her hour out for the day, she walked around the ward slowly reading the newspaper and would only talk in a whisper. Inmate Stauch talked on the phone but did not have a shower. After Stauch locked down for the day and another group of inmates came out, Stauch talked through her door to them in a normal voice and had a regular conversation about court appearances and her daughter. Inmate Stauch ate the peanut butter and bread from her lunch. She also ate cake. She did not talk about the Victorian for the rest of the day and did not talk about drinking blood again. Did they include pictures of that room? Surely to God they did. Yes.
Oh, and it's just all so forced. She's like, oh, do you like the painting on my wall? I need you to notice it so it'll be in the record.
Exactly what she's doing. And not only that, look, this happened on November the 23rd. The last incident where she had blood all over her face and she had to do the picture of her head. Let me see what that date is. Was, October 11th. Okay, that's interesting. So she has no visible wounds, not sure where the blood came from, but I'll show you guys again the picture on the wall. But you're exactly right. Look, do you like my picture? Here, notice it so you can make sure it's in the notes for today.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable, Jen. What the F, man? It's 7:15, so I'll go until, Melissa goes. So at November 20, this is November 27th, and it's toilet talking. And this is Deputy Riley. So at 4:10, I approached Blank during a security check. I noticed inmate Letecia Stauch was leaned over her toilet. She stood up quickly. Early on in the day, I caught Stauch talking in her toilet to male inmates in Blank, and I told her if I caught her toilet talking again, she would lose her timeout for tomorrow. Since this was the second time I caught inmate Stauch toilet talking, I informed her that her hour out would be taken for the 28th. She told me she doesn't care if I take it. She also said she will continue to talk in the toilet, and there is nothing I can do about it because I can't move her to a different ward. I turned to walk away, and Stauch looked at me directly in the eyes while smirking and said, I have a 180 IQ. You can't one-up me, Riley.
Whew.
Oh my God. I have a 180 IQ. You can't one up me, Riley. Uses her name and all. Damn.
She really believes that she's smarter than everyone else and better than everyone else.
Absolutely. And what Crystal said, everything she does is for a reason. What blows my mind is how far her steps are from what she's really doing.
Yeah.
She meant 18, Music City Mom. I hope you're okay, by the way. If there's anything I can do or you need somebody to talk to or anything, you can message me. So this is when she conceals something in her pants. Let me see how long this is. This will be our last one for today. After this, on my channel, we will, like, as far as the incident reports go, I'll continue with tidbits in the normal way that we were doing it. But we are going to have a discussion about it in general, about all of it in general with you and Jen. And then a discussion on the kites. And then, like you said, the visitors list, the alerts. That is really interesting. Okay, so this is her hiding something in her pants, and it happened Monday, December 14th. The author is Deputy Shartung. At approximately 6:50 p.m., before transporting Stauch, I conducted a thorough pat search and no contraband was found. While transporting Stauch in the main hallway from Blank, I observed a bulge in the back of her jumpsuit pants, approximately a couple inches wide. I asked her, "What do you have in your pants?" She did not reply. I asked again, "What do you have in your pants?" She then turned towards me and spoke in a low tone. I cannot understand what she was saying. I escorted inmate Stauch back to Blank. She was escorted to Blank where she is housed. The black box and chain were removed from Letecia. She remained in handcuffs and leg irons. I asked inmate Stauch again what she had in her pants. Inmate Stauch became irate. She yelled, "You are not going to put your hands in my pants." I told inmate Stauch that I would not put my hands in her pants and that I needed her to remove the item. Inmate Stauch refused and told me I needed to remove her handcuffs. I told her I would not remove the handcuffs. Inmate Stauch then put her hands down her pants and pulled out a wad of toilet paper. Inmate Stauch put the wad of toilet paper within a foot of my face and then threw it in the air, shaking it and yelling, see, it's always you giving me a hard time." Inmate Stauch then threw the toilet paper in the toilet. She turned her back and put her hands in her pants again to straighten her pants. Deputy Seidler and Brokaw were there and witnessed the interaction. They conducted a thorough pat search and no contraband was found. The full restraints were put back on Stauch and I assisted in escorting her to her professional phone call. Before she entered the contact room, she walked past me and said, "You stupid bitch." Let me see if the other deputies reported on that, though.
Yeah, it's just another setup. She's getting ready to go into a visit with her attorneys, and she does something to make herself look suspicious. And then when they become suspicious because they're simply doing their jobs, then she's like, "See, you're just harassing me for no reason. You were wrong. I'm right. I'm a victim."
Yes, that's absolutely.
It was all a setup.
That's exactly what she's doing. It's so funny the way that you can read. Like, I feel like I can read her pretty good, but you can read her so well. Like, it's crazy. But
I
that's
don't know if that's something that I want to actually put on my resume, but I will say thank you because it has been a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and it's like a major like brain exercise. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're like because you're having to figure out all of this topsy-turvy twisted BS. It's funny when you hear like I'll hear channels cover her that don't really know her that well or know the case that well, and it's funny because yeah, it's just totally different, which, not that I haven't enjoyed videos from people who didn't know it as well. I'm just saying to talk to somebody who just knows it so well and can call exactly what moves and what she's scheming. I love it. It's so interesting.
Well, and I do pretty well, but I'm by no means an expert, and I can be wrong, but that's how I remain teachable. The second that you have it all figured out and nobody can tell you anything, you cease learning, and then you become like Letecia. And Deborah Locklear was Letecia's mother, and when Amy Lowry and Letecia were young, James and Deborah got together. So they're stepsisters, but they call each other sisters. And there was this whole big debate about, well, I happen to know that Amy is her half sister. And I finally just said, you know what? You're probably right. What do I know? And I just left it at that, because if I'm in a position where I'm arguing with somebody, then that's not where I need to be. Right. I am not the expert on this, and it's possible that I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But also, there's no need for me to argue. I've got a job to do, and I'm doing it, but I'm not the expert. So I'm not going to argue about, details. And the person, the person that I was going back and forth with, it's not like it was ugly or rude or anything like that. It's okay if I'm wrong, but when I know for sure that I'm not wrong, it's based on at least 3 points of reference and some serious research.
Right. I know.
I wouldn't argue it otherwise, because it's not about me. It's never been about me. The book isn't about me. My opinion has no place in it.
Well, I've had conversations with you where, like, you've asked about something that you couldn't remember or something, and where you have been mistaken, and you're not like, I don't know, you take it and go. You know what I mean? Like all of us do. So I know what you mean. But you are a little bit of an expert, and by the end of it, damn it, you're going to be an expert.
Okay, but not to such a point where I'm going to like argue details with anybody.
Right.
I don't have to be right, but I'm pretty close sometimes.
You're mostly right all the time. Most of the time. Most of the time, all the time. Pointer lover, I love you too, and thank you so much. And I'm so happy to be back here as well with you guys. I've missed you. I miss doing the lives. I can't wait for us to get these next set of calls, and I can't wait to jump into the things that you want to talk about. I'm really interested in that stuff. Yeah. Gotta stick together, love. Ain't that right, Nana Banana? Little Red Riding Hood says, crime curious, you be you. We love you. Don't let somebody bully you. Oh, we love you guys. And I know that you guys love us and love you, Curious Jen. Let's do a live. Can we stump Curious Jen? Oh my God. That would be so funny. Oh yeah. What was up with the toilet paper in her pants? I guess she was trying to make it look obvious, like Curious Jen thinks, like, so that they would kind of, what do you have? What do you have? And she could be like, it's just toilet paper. See? But a 2-inch bulge of it in the back of her pants. Crystal, hell, I'm an expert because I've watched you girls. Jen is amazing. Thank you, Brandywine. I love and appreciate you guys too. More than I even have the words for, truly. I was thinking about it this week when I was up at, in West Virginia for those services, and God Almighty, I think it just about ripped my heart all the way out of my chest. But I was sitting there and I was at the hotel, and I'm like, you know what? I really want to I'm going to record a tidbits of Tecia. I wanted to go live, but you guys and YouTube and the channel and the information, the documents, the girls on panel, it's such an escape. And I don't know, I'm just beyond blessed and so thankful for you guys. Oh, legendary. I love you back. You guys rock. All right, so Miss Melissa Jade has a live tonight at 7:30. So I'm gonna jump off here so that we can go over there and check that out. And also I gotta go eat dinner and get the babies ready for school. But as soon as I have a free moment, you better believe I'm filming the next tidbits because I can't wait to see what's to come. I'm on the edge of my seat, literally. So yes, Curious Jen, are you still here? Thank you, Lace Lemons. You're amazing. You guys make my world better, that's for sure. Thank you, Scout. I appreciate that. Thank you, Nana. Thank all you guys. Love you too. All right, you guys have a great night. I think I'll talk to Curious Jen if she's still here. Pursuing. Thank you. You guys are too sweet to me. Thank you guys for everything. I can't wait to keep digging into this one, and I can't wait to talk about some of the other cases I'm looking forward to looking at too. So, are you back? Are you back, Curious Jen? Okay, well, I'm signing off, but I will talk to you after the live ends. But do you want to say bye to everybody? Reverse Jade Raid. Love you tons too.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now
Yes.
I can. Uh-oh. Oh, thank you, Shay. Appreciate that. Little Red Riding Hood, I think she's doing all right. You know, she's doing as best as she can. She's a strong girl, and I think she tries to hold a lot of it in. She's doing all right. But thank you for asking and sharing. And I love and appreciate you guys. And I will see you in a little bit, sometime soon. And I'll love you, Curious Jen. Everybody, I love you, appreciate you. Things.
I definitely do.
All right, you guys. All right, have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Wait, let me put the link in the chat again before I say bye. And then I'll say bye. Sorry, Music City Mom. Bye, guys.